Okay guys, heading home. Today's topic will be foreign men are easy in Japan. So it's a bit of a strange one when you're living here in Japan and you see YouTube videos, you see things from a different perspective with foreigners, and foreigners don't like negative videos about themselves in Japan, and it always gets a lot of hate. It's what I've noticed on my channel, but got to keep it real and got to cover everything. So as I've said many times, the dating market for foreigners with the local women is only about 5%. 95% of Japanese women wouldn't marry a foreigner at all. So we're left with this 5% that are here. So you can imagine with influx of foreigners that come here and live here and possibly looking for a Japanese lady to marry, the ball is all in their court, and this is one of the reasons why foreign men are easy. So there's a term in Japan, and it's a little bit crass, but whenever there's a term for something, it means it's quite widespread, and it's to do with two guys who are dating the same lady, but they don't know about it. And this term is called anaki, and anaki means whole brothers. So it's quite common for Japanese ladies or whatever to have a couple of guys on the go at the one time, and it's even more with the foreigners because foreign guys, we're easy. So unsuspecting foreign guy, he might like the look of the Japanese lady, he doesn't know the culture well, he doesn't know the language probably at all, and he's fresh. He's just such an easy target, and the foreign men do get taken advantage of, and they don't know how and they don't know why. So one strategy these women employ who go after these men, there are other terms like gaijin hunters and things, but I'll get into that later, but they pretend to be married, and they put up something on their dating profile that they're married, but they're always trying to connect with the foreigners, and the foreigners believe they're BS, and this is such a common thing, and it's a common strategy. And usually these women are just after sex. They just want a few guys on the side, and when they want to break up, or when if the foreigners are still okay with that, even better. They'll just mention that they're married and move on, and if the foreigner's still sort of interested, they'll just go along and keep using them. So a lot of this happens around where foreigners congregate, and of course you've got the famous military bases, and this is a lot of an disembarkation sort of point for foreigners in the military, and they fall for this all the time, and they might call them military installations, but I call these places skank magnets. So without knowing the culture, if you have a lot of, foreign military guys getting off their ships and whatever, anyone that's lived in Japan for any amount of time would know that the ladies who sort of hang out at the places where these guys like to drink or whatever, they're not the top shelf women by any stretch of the imagination, but they always get a lot of action. So for you guys, you just have to be careful, especially when you don't know the culture. Japanese ladies that hang out in these sort of pick-up places, especially around these skank magnet places like military bases, you really need to be careful because style of it. They sort of just lived in these little gaijin bubbles and near gaijin places, and they say they've had a lot of luck, and they sort of make themselves out to be a bit of an Adonis, but when you get down to the nitty gritty of it all, most of these guys are just skank whisperers. So as I've said before on quite a few videos, the culture here in Japan is the women, they value risk-free sort of people with safe jobs and salary men, people like this, and not some foreigner fresh off the plane who looks a bit buff down the gym. Most of the time these guys are just getting used because they're pretty much easy pickings for these women, and that's why you hear a lot of stories of guys that were lucky with the women, but they're still single, and they really still don't realise that pretty much they're being had, and it's because we're such a big number of people, foreign men, but there's such a small percentage of Japanese ladies who would think to marry the foreign men, and the rest, the skankies, they're just using these guys, but they're just too ignorant to really know how it works. But take it from me, that's how it works. And not uncommon for some Japanese ladies. They're down on their luck in Japan. They've probably had a bit of a rough life or whatever, and they want to get out of Japan as well for whatever reason. It doesn't matter what country you're from, you can have a terrible time, and some women want to get out of their situation, and these tend to be a lot of the gaijin hunter types that I was talking about earlier. They only marry, they'll only marry foreigners, but they're the only people they'll date as well. But these sort of skanky ones, they don't really care who it is, but if they want an easy lay, just go down and hang out where the military guys are or where the foreigners are. It's just how easy it is. So if you're a young guy, just be careful. Don't go watching all this rubbish on the internet about getting all muscled up and whatever. That's all BS. Pretty much most women in the world will define an ugly man as ruggedly handsome if you had a thick wallet. So that's the difference. Someone that's ruggedly handsome is just another term for a rich ugly guy. So always better to have a good job, have some skills, good head on your shoulders, a bit of an education, and stay away from these skank magnet places, at least when you're in Japan. Plenty of good women out in Japan, even with 5%. It's a big population, still a lot of women that wouldn't mind marrying foreigners, and you don't need to hang around these skanky places with these foreigners that are just hanging about, going nowhere. So anyway, that's my video on this topic, and as always, hope you like the video.
Let's go.